Hello and welcome. This is Amanda the Nerdy Krafter, and I am here with week 3 of our Make It Simple Monday project. Miss Debbie in the Art Impression Way group has encouraged us to pull out some of our supplies, to grab those things that we have purchased and never used before or have used but have forgotten about, and make quick, simple, and easy projects. So that is our challenge for this Make It Simple Monday. For the month of January, she has challenged me to bring in my small watercolor container set and then a flower and some foliage. So simple, 2, 3, maybe 4 stamps total to make these beautiful projects. These are the colors I'm planning on using today, but I may change it up. So take a quick snapshot so you can see those if you'd like. And then the two, this is the watercolor small container set that she's challenged me to use. And then I've chosen for my flowers to bring in my desert succulent set. I live in Arizona and I love some beautiful desert motif. So this is the set that I've chosen to bring in. I've done these two already. So I've done the barrel cactus and then the little agave. And I'm going to pull in this one here today. So that is what I've decided to do. I've also decided to pull in different pots. So I've done this one, and then today I think it's this one. So again, I'm trying to use more of my containers, bring in different ones, not just use the ones I'm comfortable with, think outside the box. Now this is the first time I'm doing any of these products. These ones are brand new stamps and never been stamped, so you'll see they are nice and fresh, just cleaning them off with my finger. So you know, I haven't sat here and done these projects 5 times and now I'm coming back to you and saying, you know, how you should do it. This is my first time doing these projects, so it's okay. I'm going to do a purple background on this pot because I want a little more color. And then for the greenery, I'm going to do like the yellows and greens on it. So I'm going to be putting my color here on the pot. So I'm going to start with a gray background on that. So I'm going to do my brown first. I'm going to take the more textured side of my paper and stamp that off. And I usually do a 1 to 1.5 stamp off when I'm doing a stamp off. This is a method that Art Impressions recommends that you do. I will admit that sometimes I'm better than others. Now I am team eyeball, but because I have my glass mat here and it does help me kind of line things up, I've lined this up so that my dark line here is my center. So I'll attempt to get it somewhat straight. I'm not worried about it. If it's not centered, it's not the end of the world. I'm okay. I'm then going to mask off my pot. Because my foliage might come over the top of my pot, I do love these masks. And these are the Post-it note tape. You can choose the mini Post-it notes, but I love that tape. It works great. It doesn't tear my paper. And for this one, I'm going to bring a combination of the 177 and the 249. So I will have like a sped up version of this video so you can watch it in fast time. And then we have this longer form version of it also. So you can take some time and enjoy and see all the things and hear me yapping through the project. Let me bring in my stamp positioner. And I always lose the little piece that goes with it because it's clear. I should actually, you know what I'm going to do? Because I always lose it. I'm just going to put a piece of my World's Best tape on it so it's yellow and then I can find it. Because I often will lose that. It gets lost on my table all the time. So let's do something about it. All right. Now this is my stamp off. And that stamp off is going onto my stamp positioner so I can figure out where I want that to sit. I'm going to set it down in the pot just a little bit. That's why I'm using that masking tape. Reactivate. And place that down. Give that just a second to sit. This is a smaller image. It's got lots of detail in it, so I want to give it a second to set in there. I always keep a little baby wipe handy where I can just clean that off. I am generally Team Bonnie, where I just take my fingers and wipe it off really quick and fast. So I'm trying to teach you better habits than I have. And see how it's sitting right into that pot. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, if it does go over, which it did just a hair, you can see that it went over just a hair. That will be cleaned up when I bring in my colors. So it is no big deal. Okay, so my pot is going to be 636. Bring in my watercolor container here, my fancy dancy one. So the reason why I like to use this medicine bottle is because it holds my water when I'm traveling. So I keep this in my little to-go pouch with all my goodies. And I did activate this brush earlier, make sure I got all the air bubbles out, but I just redo it one more time. Clean, 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 get everything out. Dip halfway. So I've gone only halfway down. And then when I'm coming in and pinching, it's a slight pinch. I'm just grabbing all that extra water that's sitting on the edge of that brush. That's what I'm trying to get off because I don't want that to go plop on my project. I'm tapping in a little bit of my color. So right at the tip, I'm just tapping in. So I picked up just the teeniest bit of color there. You can barely even see it. That's all that I want, just a tap of that color. And even I might pat it off a little bit. I'm going to bring that color in from the edges. And this has that gray to it, so it'll pull in a little bit of the gray, so I don't mind pulling both the purple and the gray in at the same time. I'll probably build some more gray on my palette because I do like that gray color. Now, my favorite thing about this purple, I am team purple, just so you know, is that it has like a pink undertone to it. So it's not just purple, it's purple and pink and lavender and lilac and all the pretty purple colors and hues that go with it. Perfect. Clean my brush a little bit, and I've got a clean brush, and I'm just going to come in and push that color back. I want the darkest portion of my project to be on the outside edges. And I'm pinching off if there's extra color on my brush, because I did pick up some of the color with this, and I'm just going to pinch that off and just push that color back. Now again, the reason why I flick my color in versus going in with a straight line is because when I'm pushing this color back, it allows me the ability to push it back simpler and easier if it's a jagged edge. So I think I've given this example before, a straight line or a jagged edge. Okay. Clean the brush, pinch it off. So when I want to push this color out or back, this is my 3 or 4 passes, and I still have that straight line. Okay. Clean brush, pinch it off. If I want to push that color out, I've done the same number of passes, but that blends so much easier. I don't have to work it as hard. I'm not pressing as hard to blend those colors out, and I'm not left with a straight jagged line. That's something that I learned when I was taking alcohol coloring classes. I've done a number of alcohol coloring classes, even taking them with my Tombow markers. I've built a crosswalk between the Copic markers and the Tombows. So I can say, oh, this Tombow or this Copic color matches with this Tombow color. And some of the colors are based off of the gradation. So when I say gradation of how many layers or how many times I place it on there. So my first pass is my lightest version. My second pass is here. My third pass is here. So the way that we do that with our watercoloring is we add layers, we add water, we leave highlights. So we don't need 4 different shades of purple. I have 1 shade of purple that by adding water to it, by adding textures to it, by adding layers, I get those gradations of shades that you see a lot in the Copic and alcohol marketing world. So it can be done. I'm going to bring in my greens and my yellow. So that's a 993. It's a little hard to see that color. That's okay. I always like to start with my lightest color, and I did clean my brush pretty good. And I'm just going to tap that in kind of in the center of some of these. Yellow and red are the 2 times I really clean my brush in between, because yellow will turn brown really quickly and easily, and red just doesn't go away. It just hangs on forever. So in Copics, you do light, medium, dark. So I kind of use that same methodology. So I'm going in with my 177, which is my medium color. And these are super small images, so it does not take a lot of coloring. And then my last color, 249, kind of my darker areas where they join. And then just a clean brush just to do the last little blending of those colors. The water really does bring out the beauty in these colors. Now, another thing you can do, which I love to do, so in substitute for my water is a glitter pen. It's like this last piece that I just did. I can bring in my glitter pen, and I always test it first because it likes to do a blob. See, like that blob that I just did. And I can come in and tap this in as one of my water steps. And it will add the shimmer to your project. Now, this is a lot of water on here. That's probably way too much. So I might have to grab a paper towel and tap that off just a little bit. I always keep a little paper towel handy in case I get a little too much. But I can come in with that. I don't know if you can see that shimmer on there, but it just adds a little bit of extra to your projects. So if you want some glitter, please feel free to grab. There's so many different glitter pens out there. There's the Spectrum Noir, Wink Stella. There's so many different ones. I'm going to clean up my palette real quick because I'm going to do my grasses and my sky. So yes, so many different colors you can bring in if you want a little bit of glitter. And if I were my grass, where would I be? I've been using the 177 for my grass. This is in my kind of my booster kit. It's not my base. So I have two sets. One is my basic set of markers, and then I have an add-on set when I'm teaching classes, because I don't want people to feel like they have to go buy all the markers, that they have to have all the. So I want them to be able to get started with just a very small number of markers. So I think I've got about 12 colors in my base collection total. And I try to watercolor most of the time with just those colors. So that way you can know that you can use just a few colors and really do a whole lot with them. I want when I'm teaching my students to feel that this is an accessible product, something that they can do. I've taught this at a yoga retreat before with people that have never crafted before, and they were able to watercolor, and they had so much fun. I did that, I think it was 2 years ago now. And the feedback was amazing. I've got another retreat coming up in February with my group, so I have no clue what art project they're going to have me do. I'm hoping to bring back some of my art impressions. I may bring in some very simple card making using some sketches. So my goal is with these are called ATC artist trading card size. It's the 2.5 by 3.5 inch piece of paper. And I'm going to convert these into cards at some point. For now, I'm just going to put them in a baseball sleeve so I have them available. But I think I'm going to try Call Me Crafty Al. She has some gorgeous one-sheet wonder challenges that she does. So I think I'm going to kind of pull out some of my scrap paper, find ways to use up my scraps, and turn some of these into beautiful cards. Jess Crafts Design is another artist that I truly love. Her no scrap paper, pattern paper templates, because I started teaching scrap classes years ago and loved it. Challenged me to pull out my scraps and use them up. And I got to the point where I made very little scraps, but I was still teaching the class. So I asked some of my friends to gift me some of their scraps so I could continue to teach scrap, scrap busting, how to use your scraps. And then I just became known as like the scrap lady. So a ton of people, every time I see them, they hand me like a bag of their scraps. So I always have scraps in my collection that I can utilize and pull out. And I love it dearly, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm trying to teach you how to use your scraps, not you to give me your scraps. So it's all good. I'm going to pull in the Kendra Dots. This is from the Bible Journaling set 2. It is one of my favorites. It adds such texture and dimension to projects. It just gives it a little extra. Frequently, I will use this even to build a background. I thought that was a little wet still, so I'm just tapping it off. So I can add it to just build a background. Instead of splattering, I can use this as my splatter technique and build an entire background to my card with it. Just something different. Live on the wild side. I can even do, oh, let's add some to the sky. Let's add some blue in there. Why not? I tend to do the brown a lot, but I don't know why this is speaking to me today. I just want to be different. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to pull out your products. I want you to play with them. I want you to have fun. I want you to remember why you started collecting and why you started following this channel and watching all of the great products that Bonnie and Kim and Kendra all make or inspire or draw. Joel has a beautiful succulent line that he did years ago. I don't know if it's still available. It is one of my favorites. It's a larger succulent set. And I love it to pieces. Maybe they'll re-release it and put some dies with it. Hint, hint, love, love. But when I'm looking for inspiration for these pieces, for this, I went and did succulent cards. Or I can do succulent pictures. And I look on Pinterest and I try to find, other stamp companies that have colored. And most of the time they're alcohol or another medium. They may not be watercolor. But I can take that as my inspiration. I don't have to do exactly like somebody else did. But I can get inspired by somebody else's pieces. So that's what I've tried to do with a lot of these images, is just go find something or just play. Like some of this, 90% of this is just me playing. All right, here we go. Just something whimsical and fun. I love all those little Kendra dots. I don't know why. I just kind of went wild, but that's what was speaking to me. I may come back in with a little bit of that glitter pen and add some more glitter to the sky. Who knows? Just have fun. Play. Make it simple Monday. Well, thank you for joining me in this fun challenge. I cannot wait to see what you create also. So come and join us and show us your little projects that you've made simple. Take care. This is Amanda, the Nerdy Crafter.